If you've ever designed a service pistol that was unable to go one full week without national news coverage and the entire gun world asking questions about its serviceability and safety, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. And yes, there has been another incident with a Sig Sauer P320 M17 MHS service pistol, this time in March of 2025 at a United States Army installation in Texas. A security guard, essentially a Department of the Army security guard contractor, stepped out of his entry control point shack with a holstered M17 MHS service pistol when he reached down, and it looks like he either, we're going to talk about it, the facts of the matter, he either touched the grip or the magazine of the gun, and allegedly it went off uncommanded. Now, at the time you're seeing this video, I did reach out, or at the time of filming this video, I did reach out to Sig Sauer and said, hey, check out this video. It looks really bad. It happened on a United States Army installation. That I don't represent the Department of the Army or the War Department, but I happen to have a long career in the United States Army as an infantryman and a senior non-commissioned officer. So I was like, hey, what's going on with this thing, with this Department of the Army security guard? And Sig Sauer said they have no official statement that has been released at this point, but they will most likely be releasing one soon. Now, we're going to get into the facts of what my honest assessment is on this situation. I have 3 different courses of action and the facts and the video and all of the stuff that we're going to go over here today. But what I would like to ask you to do at this point is hit the like button. If every single viewer right now were to hit the like button, that would not only help out this channel in more ways than I can even begin to possibly articulate, but also it would help share the message and help the channel grow. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. We are going to weaponize that like button as the Combat Llama community here. Thank you so much for staying true to the channel and hitting the like button video after video. Thank you so much for doing that. Leave your Combat Llama emojis down below and let me know which side of the fence are you on. Was this an uncommanded discharge, or did this Department of the Army security guard pull the trigger with a claw hand as you went down? We're going to go over the footage and several different courses of action that I believe could have occurred with this incident. Now, keep in mind to the facts. And again, thank you so much for hitting the like button, leaving your Combat Llama emojis, and sharing the video with a buddy. Let's look at the facts of the matter. We know that there's over 4 million Sig Sauer P320 service pistol variants, either M18, M17. We have here a unloaded M18, okay? So we know that there's roughly over 4 million of these things in circulation with over 2 billion rounds fired. I have a recent video covering all the statistics and all the facts of the matter on these different pistols, both the M18 and the M17, as well as the P320 line, okay? So we know that there's over 4 million of these things in circulation with 2 billion rounds fired, and we know that over 1,000 agencies have contracted them to be used for official use, with over 2 million civilians using them for concealed carry, personal protection, home defense, and we know that it is the Department of the Army and the entire War Department at this point, again, that I don't represent or don't want to represent here today, but we know that it is their MHS contracted service pistol, both in the M18 and the M17 design. So with all those facts in mind, this incident occurred in March of 2025. Now, why is that kind of raising an alarm bell for me as well as you? Why are we just now hearing about this? Do you know how many NDAs it would take to keep this thing a secret? Why all of a sudden, literally on a random Sunday morning, am I getting 1,000 DMs of people talking about this incident that occurred in March of 2025, and why does Sig Sauer not already have an official statement or some sort of investigation that should have occurred by now? My thoughts are that there has been an investigation and that this is just getting brought back up because some news agency got the footage, some reporter released it, and I'm guessing, if I had to speculate, that all of the investigation has already occurred, and hopefully this will make it really easy for them to either say, yes, it was an uncommanded discharge, or no, it wasn't an uncommanded discharge, said officer said he pulled the trigger, or whatever. So hopefully we get that information, because now, of course, Sig Sauer has basically been forced to address it, and we're going to see what happens. But there's 3 different courses of action that I think occurred here with this M17 MHS pistol, okay? So, course of action number 1. And what you can see in the footage is the dude reaches down with like a weird, again, this pistol is clear and safe. We're going to place it on fire. So the course of action number 1, and the 3 different things that could have occurred here in this footage. Course of action number 1, dude reaches down and with his middle finger or something like this, he could have pulled the trigger. That is a potential possibility that could have happened, okay? So that's course of action number one, where dude reaches down with weird claw hand, pulls the trigger as he's coming up with the weapon on fire, okay? Because he does touch the gun. That is something that happened, okay? So that is course of action number one. Dude reaches down, and he does set the gun off by pulling the trigger with some portion of his hand, okay? That's course of action number one. Course of action number two, probably more likely in this case. Dude shifts the gun with an obstruction inside the holster. Now, we've heard the key argument from Sig Sauer that, I don't have any keys sitting here, but that a key, we'll use this pin, okay, that a key may, or some sort of obstruction may have pulled the trigger because there's no hinge in there. That's course of action number two. Dude shifts the gun, there was an obstruction in the holster, forces it into that obstruction and pulls the trigger, okay? Okay. Course of action number three, as I jettison my definitely drop Sig P320. Course of action number three is what the internet has kind of said is probably the case, or most likely. The most likely course of action is that gun goes off when dude touches the grip, okay? That is course of action number three. So dude makes some sort of contact with the gun and the gun goes off on its own. That is the most probable. Now, you would have to slow down the footage and, that unfortunately the footage was taken with a potato, so it's very difficult to actually tell what occurred with the weapon, but what is most likely, most probable in this case is when dude touches the gun, whatever jostling effect happened with the back of that gun, it caused the weapon to go off. We don't know if it was on safe or on fire. We simply do not know, okay? So I would say from the footage that I'm seeing here, course of action number three is most likely the case where the gun sets itself off when dude makes contact with it in an uncommanded discharge sort of fashion where the steer slips and the striker fires, hits projectile, and gun goes off, right? So that is what I would say is most probable. Course of action number one is where a dude pulled the trigger on his own. Course of action number one. That is, historically speaking, before all this controversy started with the Sig Sauer M17, M18 guns. That is what I would say would be most likely. But in this case, it's really hard to tell. Dude reaches down, gun goes off. We know that the gun, it wasn't the old, the GBRS crisscross applesauce that, was promised to us 3,000 years ago. So we know that it wasn't a crisscross applesauce incident. The gun was touched, but now, honestly, it's either course of action number one, dude pulls trigger with weird claw movement. Course of action number two, obstruction in holster. Dude touches gun and it puts the gun against whatever object and sets it off. Or course of action number three, uncommanded discharge. Dude barely touches gun. Gun goes off in holster on its own without any sort of the keys argument or any sort of obstruction or any sort of negligence argument where dude pulls trigger maybe with his middle finger or something like that. Okay, so doesn't look good is what I'm saying. It looks really bad. When I look at the footage, I looked at it probably 50 to 100 times over and over on repeat before I filmed this, and I'm like, dude reaches down, weird claw movement, but doesn't really look like anything goes in the trigger guard. But there is a moment, if you watch the footage, if I remember, where the dude, it does look kind of like this, and then boom. So we don't know. The point is, it looks bad. Can we all agree? It looks really bad, okay? It looks bad. Hopefully, there's already been an investigation. Hopefully, hopefully tomorrow or whenever we'll get an investigation that says, yeah, it was an uncommanded discharge, or no, it wasn't, and dude pulled the trigger, okay? So I'll be keeping my eye out to keep you guys updated on that. But so far, I don't know. It looks really bad. That's what I'll say right now, okay? So if you got this far in the video, hit the like button, share the video with a buddy, go down below and let me know what you think occurred here. Do you think dude pulled trigger, or do you think gun went off on its own? You guys let me know. Is it course of action number one? This will make it easy for you guys to vote. Course of action number one, dude pulled trigger, okay? Dude touches gun, dude pulled trigger, is on fire. Course of action number two, obstruction in holster and causes, the keys argument where there's some sort of, very unlikely, but some sort of object that could get in the gun and pull the trigger. Or course of action number three, gun goes off on its own uncommanded, thus potentially creating an unsafe, unserviceable gun. Okay, so that's a lot of talking for me. I look forward to reading your guys' comments, as all of the SIG videos are hilarious every time. Go check out the comment section on that video. It's hilarious as well. I'll try to link it down below if I remember. But yeah, this is a very interesting case. 4 million guns in circulation, 2 billion rounds fired, with the equation of 50 rounds per year of every gun in circulation, over 1,000 agencies, including the War Department, and now we have another case of a Department of the Army contractor potentially setting off a gun uncommanded. You guys let me know down below what your thoughts are. I look forward to reading your comments. Hit the like button, share with a buddy, and until next time, this is going to be Trench Grenade, your average, another day and another 6-hour incident video enjoyer that your mom says. That way, have it all. I'm signing out. Cheers.